long flight.
Sit on a beach in Cancun.
Hello, team, and welcome to the Two Fat Brokers podcast and video cast. Thought you'd notice that. Today, we're talking about mental fortitude and what it takes to become a real estate broker, who makes it and who doesn't. I'm Ben from Abu Dhabi.
I'm Barney from Dubai.
And this is something that is close to Barney's heart. So, do you want to kick us off?
It's not, I wouldn't say it's close to my heart. It's just something I've been given a lot of thought to recently.
Do you feel you've made it as a broker? Been 20.
Wow, if I say yes, I come across as arrogant. If I say no, I mean, I guess part of the mindset of a real estate agent is you never really feel like you've made it. You know, for me, it doesn't matter the size of transaction that I've done. I'm always just looking at the next one, you know.
Start from zero.
You start from zero. You give yourself a little pat on the back, maybe go out, have a nice dinner, bottle of wine. And then the next day it's back to the grindstone. You know, when I sold when I broke the record for the...
What record was that, Barney?
Well, just bear with me and I'll tell you, Ben. Calm down. Stop clamoring. The first time I broke the record for...
You broke it twice.
Highest transaction, the highest value transaction in Emirates Hills. I was with one of the ladies that work with me, Henna, the next day. We were in a palm villa and I was in a cupboard covered in dust and soot and just mess trying to find a key.
Oh.
She didn't find me either. Trying to find a key, and and Henna turned around to me and very lovely. She said, this is why we want to learn from you, is because you can do something like that one day and then the next day be in a dusty old cupboard with me looking for a key because you're moving in a short-term holiday tenant. And at the time, that didn't it didn't register with me. But when she sort of shone a light on it, yeah, you have to have drive. You always have to be moving forward, and you can never just sit back and go, "I've made it." And that, I think, is the mindset of what makes a really good real estate agent. They're the kind of people that will always make it. And you'll probably know this because you have a lot more staff than we do. One of the things that peeves me is when a real estate agent that works for you has done a really good job. They've closed a really nice sale. The day you hand them their commission check, I need to go on holiday for a week. For me, I'm like, you've got momentum. And a lot of this industry is about momentum. When you start closing deals, you'll start closing more and more and more, and you go on a run. But the second you go on holiday, and I'm not saying don't go on holiday, people need rest. I'm a big advocate of that. But the second you make a big payday, you go on holiday, and that just stops your momentum dead.
You think it's a confidence kind of thing? Once you've done a deal, you feel more confident, so you're more likely
to go on holiday. Sit on a beach in Cancun.
Cancun is a long flight.
Oh, well, you're on holiday. Go where you want.
Yeah, true. But do you think it is confidence, or do you believe in purple patches?
I believe in momentum. I believe in the confidence. Whatever you're doing it right, and that should continue to work. So it's a
don't stop.
Maybe it's maybe it's the force. Who knows? But I do believe once you start doing business, you should be able to continue. Because you get in a groove. Whether your groove is the amount of calls that you're making, the amount of viewings that you're going, whatever it is, the amount of referrals that you're getting, whatever it is, you're doing it right, and you continue, and you should continue making business.
But you can understand, and obviously the difficulty, and when you talk about mental fortitude, the difficulty of not having a regular income, not having like a salary, not having that guaranteed, amount of money, means that when you do get paid, it's that, bigger chunk, and everyone's like, all of a sudden, oh, thank goodness, and then they feel like, okay, now I can go on that holiday that I, haven't been able to afford before.
Yes. Yeah, no, I understand that, and a lot of it is a pat on the back as well. I've earned this.
Oh,
I've been working really hard, and I do understand that. And look, I'm not going to say I've never done it. It is a sweet release, especially in the days when the real estate market wasn't as strong as it is now. When you close a deal, it was a rarity, compared to the kind of volumes that we're seeing now. And so you do feel like, I've earned it. I need to have some downtime. What I'm saying is have some downtime in the summer. You know, when less business is being done, don't take yourself out of the game, you know, when you're in your stride. But again, this is the conversation also about what type of person wants to become a real estate agent and stay one. You know, the market's full of people who dip in. You know, I've been speaking to a chap recently that I met at the gym, and he was a personal trainer. And he's decided to step out of being a personal trainer and become a real estate agent. And congratulations to him, he's done really well.
Nice.
But is he going to be a real estate agent for the rest of his life? Or is he, when the market turns, going to go back to being a personal trainer? Who knows? But this is the weird thing about our industry is you can dip in and dip out. You know, I'm a lifer. Like I left school when I was 17 and I've been selling houses ever since, apart from a brief stint in the service industry. It's what I do. But it's an industry where people can dip in, make a bit of money, dip out, with little to no training. You know, you get trained by your company that you work for.
Why do you think that is? And I mean, you're absolutely right, and that's one of the reasons why brokers here have such a bad reputation. Why is it an industry for people who, you know, did something else, were an engineer or whatever it was in a past life, and then they're like, well, I'm going to be a real estate agent, and they become a real estate agent? How is that so different from, you know, in Australia, you need a degree to be a real estate agent. In America, you got to pass, you know, exams.
Yeah, it's
UK
a barrier
as well.
to entry.
People actually, I mean, I think in America, actually, a lot of people do try it and it doesn't work out. But in other places, it's a proper career. Like,
yeah, there's no barrier to entry. You pass your rear exam, and you know, you're on the path. And also, what other industry can you get into where you can make as much money or more money than a lawyer, a doctor, an architect? People have trained. I think architects train for 7 years. You know, you can get into real estate, and if you get lucky, you close a deal, and you've all of a sudden you've made more money than an architect might make all year.
Get lucky or be good at it. Because, I mean, you do find...
If you're getting into real estate and in the first 2 or 3 months, you've closed a transaction that's made you 500, 600,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
You got lucky. You might be good, but I would say you got lucky, which is great. And I'm not knocking you for being lucky, but if you keep doing that, then you're a good broker. If you do it once, you got lucky.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the attraction is a bit like maybe playing the lottery. A lot of people think, wow, like I'd be good at that. And some of them are. Some people, you know, they were doing something else completely and they just, you know, get into real estate and they're just brilliant at it.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a couple of those go through our company and they're just got the gift and they just absolutely crush it.
What did you notice about them? What unified them?
So for me, there's two types. There's someone who just works hard, just really works hard and is organized, and they are successful. And then there's the talkers, you know, the ones who've got the gift of the gab and the chat and stuff like that, and you know, they can just sell. Those guys don't last.
The gift of the
as
gab
long.
guys, yeah, the gift of the gab guys are the guys that forge relationships. But
Yeah,
you
they can
have
build
to have,
rapport very quickly.
you have to have a mixture of all of them, but you also have to be able to close, to ask the right questions. So you can be organized, you can work hard, but if you can't ask the right questions, you're not going to get anywhere. You can be the gift of the gab guy and forge relationships really well, but if you're not going to go out and find what they want and then ask the right questions to get what they want and then close it, you aren't going to get anywhere. So what I've noticed about good real estate agents is they're not afraid to ask hard questions where people would sometimes get a bit upset about being asked. But if you can broach them in the right way, you're going to get the answers that you want, that you can best serve them, right? A good real estate agent, a good salesperson, asks the right questions and is not afraid to ask the uncomfortable ones. You know,
To a certain extent, you're absolutely right. But I would say I have, you know, seen real estate agents who are very not timid, but they feel very uncomfortable asking those questions, and it is harder for them. But those people, as long as they just work really, really hard, you know, they'll still close. But it's certainly easier if you can.
That's a law of averages, right? You're going to then I'm working really hard. I'm going to just play the law of averages.
Well, I mean, what ends up happening in this business is if you work really hard and you're really good at your job without asking those difficult questions, you get more referrals, you know, and, you know, people, you know, respect the hard work that you do, and so you do more business that way. But if you're closing cold, non-referred clients, then yeah, you've got to ask those hard questions. You know, the basic one is, shall we put in an offer? Which lots of agents don't ask. They're like, okay, if you want to put in an offer, like, give me a call.
Even before that, you know, where's your money? Where's your money? Have you got a mortgage? You know, all of these kind of things. Who's your mortgage with?
Where's your money is a weird one.
Well, I mean, I'm not
under my bed. I shouldn't have said that.
What's your address?
Yeah.
I'm not advocating saying it the way I've said it, but the point is, you know,
yeah, I'm just giving you an
client.
example of the hard questions. But you're absolutely right, asking those hard questions, and that's what makes you so. Some nationalities, so British people don't like to ask hard questions and like put people on the spot. You know, where generally speaking, we'll want to be polite and, you know, say please and thank you. Whereas you're more, let's say, Eastern Europeans can ask, you know, you want to buy this?
Where's your money?
Yeah, exactly.
That was a bit German.
Traditionally, they're better at asking those questions, and they don't feel so timid about it.
True. So
that's a skill. When we talk about mental fortitude, I think one of the hardest things is the lean periods and the droughts, and also the rejection. And the kind of people who you come in contact with on a regular basis.
How do you take rejection? That's huge. For me, one of my bosses back in the UK said to me, you know, if you're not hearing the word no 3 or 4 times a day, you're not asking the right questions. You have to provoke responses to be able to find out what people want. You know, and you have to be asking closing questions to be able to get the answers that you want.
Yeah, we've come back to the same thing.
But
You've got to ask those hard questions, and people don't want to because someone.
And how do you take rejection? Do you want to put in an offer? No, it's not for me. You put in all that time and effort for a client, and do you want to put in an offer? Let's write an offer down. No, you know, being ghosted is another one. That's another form of rejection. We've all been ghosted by clients, but
And women.
that is.
So I hear.
She's taking your kids too, huh?
She can have them.
Yeah, I mean, that ghosting, and that for me, that's even now is one of the hardest ones for me to deal with. Just a flat line at the end of the conversation.
Yeah, particularly when you've met someone, it's been a good meeting, you built rapport, you put the effort in, you send them all these, and then they just don't answer your phone ever again.
Yeah, common courtesy, pick up the phone or send me a WhatsApp just saying things have changed. I want to do this, or you know, but just like that. And I think it's because it's open ended. You know, they could be working with another real estate agent. They could have died. Like they could have, you know, run out of money. They could have bought something else. Like all of these questions, and none of them are being answered. That's my hardest one. Is just the ghost. You know, and it happens. You know, but still plays on your mind.
You ever ghosted a real estate agent?
No, because I'm an adult and I can just phone. I can pick up the phone and go, do you know what? Like, I'm not interested.
Or
My client isn't
even
interested.
send a WhatsApp.
Yeah, anything, any form of contact to go, look, let's just put this to bed. You know, that's fine. No, I think it's an adult thing to do, to have a dialogue with someone.
Why do people do it?
Because they don't want to have that conversation. And it's just easier for them to ignore the 11 phone calls rather than just pick up the phone and just say what's on your mind.
Yeah, true. I mean, people get nervous about real estate agents. They're like, oh, I think they're going to sell me something that I don't want. And so
no one's going to sell you anything you don't want unless you are mentally weak.
People get nervous that that's what they'll do.
But no one's going to put a gun to your head and go, you have to buy this.
Yeah, but they might agree because, you know.
Agree to buy a £10 million house just to appease someone? No one's that dumb. And if you've got that kind of money, you aren't that dumb to make that decision. So
maybe you inherited it. Who knows?
A trustafarian.
Yeah, so rejection's a big one. The not getting paid for a long time is a tough one. So the weird thing where you're working and working and working and working, and nothing's landing. You're not closing.
Start to question yourself.
Yeah, am I doing it right? Why am I working so hard and I'm not getting paid? You know, and that's one of the reasons why. Well, people think
why is everyone
real estate agents are like rich and they can dip their hand in our pockets for our commission, because you can be working so hard, you know, for months and months and months and get nothing, and then when you land something, it's a big payday. And so it looks like, oh wow, you earned that much money, you must be, you know, but you don't see all the months where I earned nothing.
Yeah,
and I didn't get a penny, and all the weekends and the late nights and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah. I actually get asked. So I do a lot of business in Emirates Hills, and I've been asked a few times, what sector do you live in Emirates Hills? I'm like, how much money do you think I'm earning? Like, entry level into this community is 30 million dirhams. I'm not there. Do you know what I mean? I'm not there. But that's the misconception of how much money people think real estate agents are making. And, you've got the 25-year-old kids driving around in brand new BMWs with big shiny Rolexes and brand new teeth. They're spending their money on
They got
their
new hair.
appearance.
Can you believe it?
I would love some of that new hair stuff.
That Turkish stuff's apparently great.
From the back of
Turkish
your head.
delight. Yeah.
So, look, I think also, if you're on the outside looking in, you do think real estate agents get overpaid because a lot of them necessarily aren't qualified. I'm not qualified to do anything else but sell houses. And they don't see a lot of the work that goes on behind it. There are sleepless nights. There are days where you really question yourself. There are days where you just think to yourself, what am I doing wrong? Why is this not closing? Why is this not happening? How did I lose that deal? It was tied up in a nice little bow. And then all of a sudden the deal for whatever reason has just gone sideways in the last 25 minutes. What happened? How could I have let that happen? How can I not let that happen again? What were the deciding factors and the contributing factors to make this deal go sideways? There's a lot of questions that you ask yourself, and to try and then find the answers is sometimes very, very difficult.
In case you didn't know, this is counselling for real estate agents. So
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in.
Put your dilemmas in the comment.
Yeah. No, but I know, from 2015 probably to 2020, it was a really tough period, for you, for all real estate agents in the
death
market.
by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, it was like it was murder for all of us. I gave up a lucrative legal career
Were you a lawyer?
to do this.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So you sold your soul to the devil twice. Lawyer to real estate agent.
I should be a politician next, then I'll get the trifecta.
You wouldn't get my vote.
One extra Costa coffee. Other brands are available.
It's a special breed of person that can make it as a real estate agent, and an even more special breed of person that stays in real estate because you become, what is it called? You become Stockholm syndrome.
Desensitized?
Stockholm syndrome. You begin to love your captor. Your captor is the real estate industry. I love what I do, but my goodness, does it take it out of me sometimes? So it takes a very special breed.
Well, so I've told you the two types that I see that are successful: the super organized, hard-working one, and the one who's got the chat, which I would put you in that category.
You said earlier on that they're the ones that don't make it.
Yeah, normally they don't. Don't know how you've got to come this far.
Well, evidently I'm secretly
Actually,
really organised.
To be completely honest, I can't manage those people. That's why they don't make it with my company.
The talkers?
Yeah, I can't manage them at all. Much better at managing the organ.
But you're
me.
the organised one.
Yeah, so they're like me, so I kind of get them. The talker ones are kind of like all over the place, but closing like crazy. I can't manage them, unfortunately.
Don't manage your staff anyway.
Well, yeah.
Hellsbells manages your stuff. I don't know what you do, to be honest.
You're dreaming.
Oh,
anyway,
watching this.
we're going off on a tangent here. So is there another type that you see makes it?
There's I guess there's one that's very niche, is the connected one. The person who has all of the connections. They may not be. They're hugely beneficial to a company because they make introductions, and then they're the introducers. They don't close it, they don't follow it through, but they put people together. They're actually gold dust because they get. My friend always says they get where water doesn't. These guys have connections everywhere, and they can open doors for you, and they make a subsidiary, of your transactional value. And they're rare, but they're very good to have in a company.
All right. Well, that was a really interesting discussion. Had a great time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think you are enjoying my company more than I'm enjoying yours.
That's true. So we have been the Two Fat Brokers. I've been Ben from Abu Dhabi.
I have been Barney from Dubai.
And we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.